Okay guys, part two of the BP18 piston removal. I have not hooked up the removal chain or the strap yet to actually pick up the piston and drop it. It's going to be a little difficult with this thing on an angle. It was not meant for that, but it can be done because the vertical structure is sitting, the gantry is sitting against the frame of the lift, so it's not going to go anywhere. What I did was I disconnect all the hoses, and the piston was originally here connected to the chains. So in order for me to retract the piston so there's no oil in the unit whatsoever, here's what I did. Let me watch my step going down here. What I did was, to retract the piston, I hooked up an air hose, which is very easy to do, to the inlet. Okay. You're disconnecting the hose from the power unit. Okay, you disconnect that. Okay, and this is the bypass hose. So when this lift leaks, you're never going to see an external leak unless you leak at the top seal in the front, which there is a minor leak at the top, I just noticed. Very, very minor. But your major leak is the inside seal inside the cylinder. So this is a bypass hose. And when it leaks, the oil travels in here and goes back into the unit. But what I did was I disconnected this hose, the bypass hose, so when I gave it air pressure, I pulled this down, the piston retracted, and whatever oil was inside the cylinder came out of this hose and into the bucket, which was not too much. Very, very little. But it is a bypass, because most of the oil that when the lift was dropping, it already went back into the reservoir, so there wasn't too much of a bypass inside the hose, the oil. So this is part two, and if you have any questions on how to retract the piston again, I'll be glad to help you out. It's very, very easy. You just have to know which connections are which. Of course, the one with the gauge is the one you want to go to. If it doesn't have a gauge, you look for the pipe that goes to the front of the cylinder, because this is a reverse acting cylinder. It's a pull cylinder instead of a push. Okay, so when this lift is down, it's fully extended. When you're lifting a car, the piston is fully retracted. So it's the opposite of what a standard lift would do. Okay, it works in reverse. But it's basically still common sense. I mean, for a guy who's in the business, it might be a little difficult to understand for somebody who's never done it before. But I'll show you after I get this all hooked up. Like I said, I got the light fixture in the way, and it's going to be a little difficult to get the piston. I can't get it down through here because the lift is in the way, this lift here. So I'm going to have to try, and once I get it off the mount, which is the only thing that's holding it in place right now, once I lift it up, I'm going to have to try and pull the gantry back a little bit and then lower the cylinder and piston between the gantry and this on the other side. Okay, so let me get everything hooked up, and let's see how far I can take it, and then I'll see if I can give you another part while I'm, as I'm lowering it. Okay, back with part three shortly.